You've been getting attacked, haven't you? Been getting attacked spiritually, mentally, financially. You just been going through so much spiritual warfare. It's because you need to talk to God. You have to realize when you aren't praying, that's when the enemy can attack you the most. Because when you aren't praying, that's when your fire is not lit. Why do you think when you first get close to God, you are so on fire? That's when you're in your word the most. That's when you're not falling to those temptations, because your fire is lit. In order to keep that fire lit, you have to continually be in your word. You have to continue to pray, because if you don't, the enemy can come in and attack you. And that's why it says in the Lord's Prayer, give us our daily bread, because if we don't have our daily bread, then we'll starve. Our spirit will starve and we'll start to get attacked. And if you are struggling with prayer, if you are struggling with getting in your word and getting in the prayer room, next time you go to pray, pray that you can have the desire to get in the word. Pray that you can have the desire to get closer to him, and show him that you really want to get closer to him by getting in your word even though you don't want to, by praying even when you don't want to. Because when you start to do that, that's when he'll remove that resistance of not wanting to read the word, not wanting to go in the prayer room. Because sometimes it's our flesh. Sometimes our flesh gets the best of us, because the flesh is contrary to the spirit. So if your spirit is weaker than the flesh, then your flesh will overtake and you won't want to read that word. Then you won't want to go and spend time with God. If you continue to feed the spirit, continue to fight and read that word, continue to fight and get in the prayer room, then that's when you'll start to desire it more. When you get in the prayer, when you start getting in the spirit more, that's when the enemy can't attack you as much. That's when you're more at peace, because part of the fruits of the spirit is peace, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, long suffering, and self-control. So start feeding the spirit more, start reading your word more, start spending more time with God. And another reason you might be struggling to get in the prayer room, or struggling on what to say when you get in the prayer room, is because you're not in your word enough. You don't know the person you are praying to enough. You see, it's hard to talk to someone you don't really know. You see, you can talk to your best friend all day. You can talk to your family member all day because you know them, you have that bond with them. But if you try to talk to a stranger for 2 hours, 3 hours, it can be hard. So you may need to get in your word more. You may need to learn about Jesus' character more, so you can have longer prayers, more intimate prayers. Prayers that aren't just repetitive, but are actually from the heart. And that's why you see prayers from David and prayers in Psalms that are so intimate, that feel so close to God, that are crying out to God for help, crying out to God for insight, because they have a true connection with God. They know the character of God. You see in those prayers start to get answers. Their hearts start to get renewed. They start to get insight on what they should do because they have a relationship with God. And that's the type of relationship that God wants for you and him. If you're going through trials and tribulations right now, if you just need more insight or clarity on where you should go in life, if you're just feeling overwhelmed, go and talk to God. Because the answer to all your problems is in the word. The answer to all of your problems solved by talking to God. Many times we look right around the solution when the solution is right in front of us. Because God wants to give you the answer to all your problems. You just got to run to him. So y'all stay blessed.